For much of my life, I was waiting for someone to see me, waiting for someone to understand me, waiting for someone to tell me I was enough, waiting for somebody to rescue me from the feelings I carried inside. Maybe you know that feeling too. You think that when the right relationship comes along, everything will finally make sense. You think that if you become successful enough, confident enough, attractive enough, or accomplished enough, you will finally feel whole. You think that someone somewhere has the answer you've been searching for. But therapy often reveals something surprising. The person you've been waiting for is you. Not the version of you that wears masks, not the version trying desperately to please everyone, not the version constantly striving to earn love and approval. The real you, the one who has been hidden beneath fear, shame, self-criticism and old childhood survival strategies. Many people come to therapy believing they need to become somebody else, yet the deeper work is often about discovering who they already are. It is about uncovering what has always been there beneath the adaptations. In my work, I often describe this through what I call the filial psyche, the part of the subconscious mind that absorbed our developmental journey of childhood. Within us lives an inner child. This is the younger feeling part of us, the part that carries our joy, wonder, creativity, vulnerability, sadness, fear, and belonging. The inner child does not think in the way adults think. It feels, it experiences, it remembers through emotions and sensations. And when childhood needs went unmet, that child often learned to hide, to become quieter, smaller, less visible, less needy, less authentic. Alongside the inner child sits the inner critic. Now, the inner critic developed later. It learned the rules, it learned the messages, it absorbed the beliefs. Don't be selfish, don't be weak, don't make mistakes, don't upset people, don't disappoint anyone. The inner critic believes it is protecting us. It believes criticism keeps us safe. It believes fear prevents rejection. It believes control prevents pain. The problem is that many of us spend our entire lives trapped in a relationship between an anxious inner child and an overprotective inner critic. A relationship that often mirrors the relationship we experienced with our parents growing up. The inner critic controls and the inner child complies. The inner critic warns, the child retreats. The critic judges, the child feels ashamed. And round the cycle goes. Many clients arrive in therapy hoping somebody will finally rescue them from this internal struggle. But therapy is not about rescue. Therapy is about helping you develop a new relationship with yourself, a new voice, a new presence, a new internal leader. I often call this part the inner mama bear. Others might call it the inner nurturing parent, the inner coach, the wise adult. Whatever name you choose, this part becomes transformational. Because for perhaps the first time in your life, somebody starts standing beside your inner child. For perhaps the first time, somebody starts challenging the inner critic. For perhaps the first time, somebody says, I see you, I hear you, you matter. You don't have to earn worth. You don't have to prove your right to exist. The inner mama bear does not shame the inner child. She nurtures, she comforts, she soothes, she protects, she validates, but she also does not allow the inner critic to run the show. She sets boundaries, she challenges distortions, she questions assumptions, she pushes back against unnecessary criticism. And something remarkable begins to happen. The inner child slowly starts coming out of hiding. The part of you that once felt invisible begins to emerge. The part of you that once felt unsafe begins to trust. The part of you that once felt abandoned begins to experience connection. Not because someone else has arrived, but because you have arrived. You begin meeting needs that were never met. You begin offering compassion where there was once criticism. You begin offering reassurance where there was once fear. You begin offering protection where there was once vulnerability. And gradually the inner critic begins to change too. Many people believe the goal is to get rid of the inner critic. I do not think this. The goal is to retrain it, to transform it, to help it evolve. Because discipline is not the same as criticism. Accountability is not the same as shame. Boundaries are not the same as punishment. A healthy inner critic becomes something very different. It becomes wisdom. It becomes discernment. It becomes guidance. It helps us maintain healthy boundaries. It helps us follow through on commitments. It helps us live according to our values. But it no longer attacks the child. It no longer humiliates. It no longer controls through fear. Instead, it works alongside the inner mama bear. Together they support the inner child. Together they create safety. Together they create balance. This is why the deepest healing often feels less like becoming someone new and more like coming home to yourself, coming home to your feelings, coming home to your needs, coming home to your truth. The search that once took you into relationships, achievements, approval, perfectionism and endless striving slowly starts turning inward, and one day you realize something profound. The person you have been waiting for has been with you all along. The child who needed love, the critic who needed retraining, the nurturing parent who needed developing, all of them were already there, waiting to be brought together, waiting to become a family, waiting to become whole. And perhaps that is what therapy is really about. Not finding yourself, but finally becoming the person you have been waiting for. If you'd like help discovering the real you, visit my website, book a free discovery call. Let's see what's possible.